Oi, and welcome back to PickItUpGaming. My name is Andrew, and here today on talk The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, a game that I love. Now I apologise for any stuttering, fast speech or muttering, but this is me, and here we go! And The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was released back in 2015 on multiple consoles, which includes the PlayStation, Xbox and the PC. Later on in 2019 it was ported over to the Nintendo Switch. There's also currently a Netflix show out called The Witcher, which stars everyone's favourite Superman, well, my personal favourite Superman, Henry Cavill. What a beautiful, beautiful guy. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was developed by a company called CD Projekt Red. Now you guys might recognise the name from the disaster that is Cyberpunk. Now unfortunately there's no excuse for the issues that have that game, but I believe as a company they will bounce back, as this game was near enough perfect. This game has issues at the beginning, but they sorted it out and made it into the masterpiece that it is. Now unfortunately with most open world RPGs they're notoriously hard to get into, as the world feels bloated, sometimes challenging and sometimes like it's too much. And unfortunately most of us nowadays work or have college or have families. But if you was to play one open world game this year or in the future, I would recommend The Witcher 3. From the moment you see everything about it describes you, hook, line and sinker. I mean hook, line and sinker. Why did I say that twice? Because I stuttered? Nope. Because I want to get the point across that I love this game. Now you play as Geralt of Rivia, a Witcher, and as a young boy he was taken to school of Kaer Morhen, to the school of the Witcher, where he was put through many trials and many tests to make him into the ruthless killer he is today. Now as you go from village to village, town to town, quest to quest, you notice one thing. The people in these places do not trust him, did not like him, and will soon stab in the back and give him a chance. Now why is this? Well, unfortunately in the world of the Witchers are seen as ruthless, heartless killers who only get paid to do one thing and one thing only, to kill. But as you go through the quests with Geralt, searching for his lost surrogate daughter Ciri, you notice one thing. The rumours are false. You can see clearly that he cares about his friends and he cares about other beings. He will never harm a sentient being if he can. He also in many occasions puts himself in the way of harm to make sure that his friends stay safe, and he helps him out whenever he can. Geralt is quite a complex character and he's right, but as you go through the world you understand him more and more, and understand why he chooses to do the things that he does. Now The Witcher 3 does something very different to most games. Although you know you're in the midst of war between Nilfgaard and the Northern Realms, you never quite see the fighting. You always seem to arrive just after it finishes, which necessarily isn't a bad thing. But you do see the effects it has on the people, the ordinary folk who live the lives day to day, who struggle to make ends meet, who have to survive in this harsh world. But with Geralt there, it's a little bit brighter. That felt so sad saying that, but it's true. Now I believe the Witcher universe is based in Europe, so of course means you have accents ranging from the English to the Scottish to the Welsh to the Irish and even to the French and German. But unfortunately some accents do stick out like a sore thumb, if only for a little bit. I'll include some clips to show you what I mean. First you'll see Sultan Chivi with a Welsh accent, then you'll see Dandelion, and just wait to see it because you know what I mean when you see it.
Geralt.
Novigrad doesn't seem like a safe place anymore. What's keeping you here?
I was keen on starting my own enterprise, but nothing came of it. Nevertheless, I took on some debt. Got to pay it back now. I'd like to blame it on the war or human treachery, but the truth is, I've got my own thick skull to blame. Rather not dwell on it, Geralt, if you don't mind.
Nice talking to you, Zoltan. See you later. Got a minute?
For you, my friend, always.
Gotta tell me, how'd you wind up owning this establishment?
You'll never believe this. I inherited it from none other than Alonzo Wiley, Whoreson Sr. himself.
You're right, I don't believe it.
Alonzo ruled the local underworld with an iron fist, but deep down, he was a romantic, pure as they come. This place is one of the reasons his son's not my biggest fan. See, Cyprian Jr., that is, wanted to make this a brothel, but the Rosemary went to me, and I planned to turn it into the most elegant venue in town, a den of art and culture.
See you, Dandelion.
Geralt of Rivia, safe and sound.
What do you do here? Hunt Squirtle?
You jest, right? Who cares about the Scoia'tael anymore? Temeria, that's what matters.
How'd you wind up here?
Came with the army, of course. Its remnants. When Nilfgaard crossed the Yaruga, I dropped everything, threw it all away to hell and rode for the front to fight the invader. Joined the Second Temerian army under John Natalis. We were to stop the Black One's advance along the Dol Blathana Mount Carbon line. And we did. For 3 days. Then they smashed us into splinters. Soon after, I heard Radovid was assembling his forces near Novigrad. That he'd promised to fight for a free north. Broke through with the remains of Natalis' army, but Radovid proved no better than Emir. So I decided I would mount my own fight.
So long.
Now, as you can see in the few clips I included there, you had 3 different accents. The first one was Sultan Chive, the second was Dandelion, and the third was Roach. Now, for me personally, the first time seeing the game and experiencing the game, when I heard those accents from Dandelion, Andris, I had trouble saying that name, it stood out a little bit. And that's not a slight on the game, it just felt a bit different. But after the initial meetings and the first few times talking to them, I grew to love them. And soon after, the accents faded into the background and they fit perfectly into the world. And that's just going to show that this game has such great voice actors who put everything to the role and make it their own. Now, as you complete more quests and side quests, face more deadly and dangerous monsters, and even find better treasure, you will earn experience points which will help level go up, making a more fast, efficient Witcher. You can put these points into certain abilities, like faster and stronger attacks, or even the abilities that affect certain arrows. Or maybe into your signs, which are your magic abilities. These signs include Igni, Ard and Quen, for example. Or possibly even to your potion abilities, making potions stronger and faster and last longer. Now, what I love about The Witcher 3 is that, although it sounds complicated at first, trust me it's not. I struggle with most RPGs as it's usually quite complex and quite in depth. These seems to be easy to use and easy to understand, which for like me goes a long way. As a Witcher, you might be asked to face certain creatures like Sea Griffin or other dangerous beasts. So it's always best to make sure you're prepared for battle. Preparation might include having certain oils already made, having potions ready to go, and having bombs there. Although it seems like it's quite complex, trust me it's not. They explain it very well. When you get to grips with everything, you feel like a badass. You feel like a real Witcher. Now I won't lie to you, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was my first experience in this game series, like many other people. Owing to the fact the first two were on PC and Xbox I believe, and I was a PlayStation boy through and through, so I never got a chance to experience them. And unlike other RPGs or games in the genre, The Witcher 3 encourages people to play, encourages new people to come into the Witcher universe. Other games might just say, you know what, you haven't experienced the first few games, we're not going to tell you what's happening, which I find is a shame, and it puts off people playing these games. With The Witcher 3, when you meet new characters or meet old characters, they explain to you what's going on in the world, what's happened in past events, so you're never left in the dark if it's your first experience. As well as that, you meet old flames of Geralt, old companions and friends of his. If you go to the character menu, it will explain in detail who they are and what they mean to him, which I find is a touch and genius by the company and why it makes The Witcher 3 such an important game in my life and other people's lives. And when you finish the main story, there's also two fantastic DLCs that are relatively cheap right now. Both DLCs are called Heart of Stone and Blood of Wine. Right now you're seeing Blood of Wine where I'm in Tucson. As you can see, it looks so beautiful, and the story itself is amazing. Each DLC will add another 40 hours to the game, which like I said before might seem like a long time, but trust me, once you invest in the story like I was, it will fly by. And even with the Hearts and Stone DLC, the characters and stories are gripping. Like I said before, once you get yourself into this game and into this universe, time will fly by as you're having so much fun. And even this game being 5 years old and running on a base PS4, it still looks stunning and it still looks beautiful. And it just goes to show how much effort CJ Projekt Red have put into these games. This is why I have faith in them that with Cyberpunk they'll improve it and be a game I know it can be. Now another reason why I love The Witcher 3 so much is Gwent. Gwent is highly addictive and is fairly simple, and it has a mentality when you finish a game you want to play it again and again whether you win or lose. In fact it became so popular that it released its own separate game, which in itself is quite amazing. The Witcher game series is based on the books by Andrzej Sapkowski. Apologise if I butchered that name, but honestly, there's rarely ever a few games where I finish it and I just want more. I want more of the world, I want more of the characters, I want to continue the story. And luckily for me, I got a chance to go back and listen to the books. And trust me, I have listened to those books many times. They're fantastic and brilliant. So if you love this game, which I believe that you will like I have, go back and listen to the books, they are brilliant. The books are not for you, they're a TV show called The Witcher on Netflix. It stars Henry Cavill, like I said earlier, and to me personally is the perfect Geralt. I also enjoyed the actors who play Ciri and Yennefer. I thought they were cast very well. Here's hoping for season 2 will come out soon, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be bloody brilliant. Oi, oi. Now it comes no surprise that this game won a lot of awards. It has sold so many copies worldwide, and with the recent TV show, which I think is due to the success of this game, it will sell another ton of copies. Now for me personally, this is one of my favourite games of all time, and I recommend it to anyone. In the next few seconds I'm going to try to sum up why I love The Witcher 3 so much, and I hopefully convince you to try it if you haven't tried it yet. Let's do this. The first few hours playing as Geralt, diving into his world and diving into the universe, honestly I fell in love with everything, from the characters to the main storylines, to the world to the music itself. Everything was perfect. The fact that whatever choices you make, whatever characters you meet along the way, have consequences, whether good or bad. The fact that you can choose what happens to Ciri at the end of the game, you can choose who Geralt ends up with. Now personally I chose Triss. I know it's sacrilege, it's meant to be Yennefer, but I love Trish. She's perfect and tough. The main strength of The Witcher 3 is its storyline. From start to finish in both main campaigns and both DLCs is perfect. One of the best stories I've ever experienced. Now, if you're going to play one RPG this year or play this game, I'd recommend it wholeheartedly. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Right, thank you guys for listening and thank you for watching. Obviously, I know I do speak sometimes a bit too quickly and I do stutter as well, but as time goes on and the more videos I do, I'll go from strength to strength to strength. Thank you. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Stay safe, stay strong, love you, and don't forget to big it up, big it up, big it up. Hey, hey, hey. Peace.